hear a horror story or two, too often, too soon, of a heartbreaking two filled with the blues, a melancholy sonnet I knew too well. I hear it calling out for a rigor mortis feeling consumes. I felt it from you. I say, baby, don't go away. You're alive, ain't you breathing? There ain't no other way through the fire, don't you see it? Pressure building when you come out the fire, baby, a diamond, a diamond. Nah, if I could take away every lie you believed in, clean up the disarray and vibe in a sequence for your protection, could you build up the courage, baby? Allow me a question. Listen, darling, ooh, how do you want it? How do you want it? How do you want it? Oh, there's nobody else, there's nobody else here. Show you my right, show you my left hand. Get you right, coming in my bed. Giving you my love, burning bright even through dark times. Bonafide even if you doubt it. Tell me, how do you want it? Ooh, I'm a part of your essence. We can do love, we can do better than temporary, baby, let's make a stand. Ooh, I wanna show you real, show you a real man. Show you power when we're building together. How do you want it?
Peace, 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 peace. Hey, what's good, family? Full moon is upon us. The full moon is real. And that's why I kind of did this video, basically to kind of give people kind of some like inspiration or some type of good vibes for this full moon, because this full moon is a difficult one in the sense that the healing that needs to take place is not surface healing. The healing that needs to take place is deep. And it requires a level of new experience to fully be enjoyed. So if you doing the same old shit, this full moon is gonna be rough. Really understanding nature. Nature is one of the big key components to this full moon, based on the fact that it falls in the earth sign, based on the fact there's a lot of cuspal changes that's going on. Like what I mean is like a shift of energy, a change of energy in many different planets, in many different areas. We are experiencing change, and the problem with change is that people don't like it. Humanity doesn't like it. The ego doesn't like it, and parts of your spirit doesn't like it either. So the key is just to understand that change is normal, change is supreme, change is actually all we can actually hope for, and begin to embrace those changes, begin to deal with these changes. Because as we can see, Mercury is conjunct Jupiter. And so really what that shows me is that, you know, finances, life in general, a lot of things are experiencing overhauls in preparation as Jupiter makes a major shift into its home sign. You know, Uranus is retrograde, Chiron is retrograde. All of these planets are retrograde, but when they go direct, the world is going to be different. I'm telling you, in 6 weeks from now, after this Mercury retrograde is back direct, it's going to be major changes. And so I want us to pay attention now, because 6 weeks from now, you'll be thinking like, damn, nobody said anything about this. Like, why nobody say anything about this? I'm saying it now because Mercury is not in shadow zone, but it's approaching shadow zone when it gets to 27 degrees, which would be like 4 or 5 days from now. Mercury will be at 27 degrees and will begin its shadow through Sagittarius, through this last decan of Scorpio. And what that really is saying is that Mercury has to clear the way for, you know, it's kind of like laying out the red carpet, really preparing us for this next shift in this next phase. And this full moon is the beginning of it. So why I started off like, you know, maybe it is a difficult time because the sun being opposed to the moon is illumination of your subconscious mind. And I know human beings don't want to necessarily deal with that. Even the most spiritual people don't want to deal with their subconscious mind because that's where the shit is. That, you know, when you meet me for the first time, you can't pick up on my shit. But the more you deal with me, the more you're like, oh, this motherfucker is like, he got a violent problem, or he got some trauma, or he got some deeper shit. It ain't all like gray sweatpants and tank tops. Like, this nigga got some issues, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's really like the full moon. And so in our relationships, the full moons are the most trying time because when we make a decision, 9 times out of 10, we're not doing psychological examinations on our partner. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're just, I like you, you're cool, I'm cool, let's be together. And then the psychological part comes up, and then it's like, man, who the fuck? What the fuck? What am I into now? Like, this is way too deep. So, of course, prepare for this full moon, deal with this full moon, and also look for the deeper shit. It's hard to be surface right now. I don't know, like, you know, anything surface that's on me or anything surface about me, like, y'all been watching me for a while now. I've been putting in a lot of work on the underground. So what may appear to be surface is just a manifestation or a culmination at this point. You know, there is no surface as far as I'm concerned. There is only built up in, you know, core shit that over time you might see to the surface. But if you making, like, I don't know, I go over this a lot, so it sounds a little bit redundant, but really getting under the hood, you know, seeing what's there, as opposed to, like, you look good, you're fine, you know, you're beautiful, you know, you are all of that, but it's other shit that goes on into life, and I don't think that conscious people even realize that, which is kind of ironic to me. I don't want to talk a lot today because I got a lot to do, but I did want to talk a little bit. The tarot of the day, the priestess, really seeing beyond the veil, really looking beyond. Like, if you going through something, if you feeling a certain type of way, I tell you for sure there's a reason for it. If you look at the surface like, damn, I feel a certain type of way, let me focus on this way that I'm feeling and not dealing with the root of that particular effect, you might miss out on something, because what's representing this energy is a portal. When you talk about wealth and success and all of the good shit that life has to offer, spirit gets real funny acting. I don't know why. They want you to do all of this prerequisite clearing to get your blessing. And it's like, just bless me. But then it's not necessarily like that. So making sure that you understand that your energy comes back to you. So any type of particular negative vibration, I say you want to deal with it, to clear it, to get to a point, to a frequency of love and giving and joy and happiness, in despite of what's happening. Because as the sun transits into Scorpio, it brings about a level of deep change. And that level of deep change is like, well, I don't want things to change, or Even if you want things to change, like it's so many people who want things to change, but when it actually changes, like they're afraid of that particular change. So really understand that change is going to happen. Really, your energy and your nature is really what's important. And 9 times out of 10, spirit can kind of upset you or disrupt your overall routine if you're not open to change. The 4 of Cups, really understanding and tuning with yourself, you know, really seeing what you want. And this really works well with the Chariot, because the Chariot is letting what you want guide you, letting your soul guide you, knowing that you got wheels on this car, you got a steering wheel, you got an engine, you got a gas tank, you got a whole bunch of stuff that supports you moving forward. All you have to do is cut the car on and push the pedal. But like sometimes in our lives, we can get caught up on the details, you know, exactly how it's going to work out. Like I need to know how it's going to be so I can be happy. But the reality is you don't have to do that. You have to really just simply in tune into yourself. Once you in tune into yourself, once you in tune into your energy, then from there you are guided. Like, it's very simple. So a lot of times people were like, well, you say this, but what do you really mean? And like, what's actually, you know, let me get that invoice for how much you charging me for these services. And I'm just like, meditate. Like, like, yeah, that don't cost nothing. I don't got nothing. I don't got no upcharges. Like, you know, I have no upcharges around this bitch. Like, if you pay for a 15-minute reading, we friends for life, like for free. So you know what I'm saying? It ain't one of them things. Like a lot of people got little, like I hated that when I used to get readings. I'd be down to my last 20. I'd drop a 20 on that reading, and she'd be like, "Oh yeah, blase blase blah." But if you pay $300 for this cleansing bath that I have for you, you know, you would really be good. And I just be like, well, damn, I feel scammed. So when I did readings, like I always was cognizant, like I'm not here for your money. I'm not here for anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you really need conscious friends in 2018. Like, so trying to find friends is a motherfucker. But anyways, 10 of this is really that inner wealth that you don't need to be out here spending a lot of money. You don't need to be out here faking the funk. You just really need to understand that wealth comes from within. And from there, what are you exuding? What is your brand? What are you selling? What are you marketing? If you ain't selling shit, you at least selling yourself, you know? So what yourself about, you know, and your energy. Cultivating your energy, realizing that wealth is cultivated within you, you naturally produce that in the waking world. And I only say that because a lot of people think that producing wealth, like wealth is some external practice that like you need to get on some Bitcoin or whatever the case may be. And I'm not dissing that. I'm saying that you can have a lot of money and still not be wealthy, because wealthy is something that you cultivate within yourself. Completion. I think this full moon represents completion. I think this full moon represents love. And I think this full moon represents initiation. And to incorporate and to fully be in this situation, you have to incorporate the good side and the bad side. You know, there's good and bad to all of this energy. And if we're focusing on the bad, you're missing out on your 100% illumination. Like, illumination is everything. So, you know, we talk about a lot of shit building up to this full moon, sexual trauma, you know, dealing with your partner, dealing with yourself, all of this. So when you get to this full moon, you're not feeling like shit. Because you're going to see it, you're going to feel it. And it's like, hood mystic, shut the hell up. You don't know what you're talking about. I'll be like, all right. All right. I'm not about to sit here and argue with y'all, going back and forth with you, man. But yeah, I didn't have a book. Well, kind of did have a book. This is taken from the Kabbalion. If you haven't read the Kabbalion, get from under that rock. Read the Kabbalion. You'll read the Kabbalion in like 2 hours, my dude. Take you 2 hours to read this book. One of the most transformative, most amazing books. And you ain't even read it yet. Get up off of that thing. So the principle of correspondence is like what we're talking about, what we're focusing on. And I really want to, like, I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. When you pay attention to certain energies, like you might have a calling to deal with Cali, or you might feel something to say, deal with this Orisha or anything. That's an idea of correspondence. And correspondence is when you pay attention to energy, energy has to pay attention to you. So as we go through these changes that this full moon presents to us, let us remember that it does not matter what happens. What matters is what we're paying attention to. Because like it'd be crazy shit. Like the economic crash of 2008. Like niggas did not care about that shit because they was in a relationship or they had a job or whatever the case may be. But it was people that was committing suicide during the same time because the economic crash was that real to them. So like, how am I just going to the club on Saturday and, you know, this person is committing suicide and we living in the same world? It's all about what you paying attention to. Because if you was paying attention to shit that was happening today and you was able to project what's happening today into the future, you would break the fuck down. So it's important that changes are made now that you may not even be aware of. Be aware of what you need to be aware of, though. That's just nature. That's just correspondence. As above, so below. Whatever you focus on above, so below, that stuff has to come back to you. So, you know, what energy are you paying attention to? What energy do you want to deal with moving forward? This is a wonderful time. This is a wonderful full moon. So, you know, take advantage of the energy. And so, yeah, like I said, I didn't want to really talk for too long. Just wanted to touch on a couple of things, and just stay consistent. If you want a full breakdown of this energy, be sure to check the links. The full moon in Taurus video, the full moon in Taurus article. We talk about the energy today in full detail. And then we've been leading up to it these previous, what's today, Wednesday, these past previous 2 days, just leading up to it. So I don't say that for people to kind of like give me props or nothing like that. Like I've been like very helpful to get to the core issue and then deal with the full moon and deal with the manifestations of value as opposed to dealing with the manifestations of trauma. So do your research, understand yourself, and really move forward with that understanding. This has been my daily energy reading for October 24th, 2018. I hope that resonated with you guys. Hope it made sense. And like I said, if you need further clarification, you like that's not enough, I need more information. What the hell is going on? Check out that full moon in Taurus video that's included in the links below. And have a wonderful full moon. Make sure to hit me up. I'm gonna send out a couple more books. I got some emails overnight. But past that, I'm available for readings and things of that nature. Make sure you just check out the site. Like, scroll down, go to the readings and consultations tab, scroll down, check that tab out. Maybe you just need a question asked. Let me answer a question for you for $5. You know what I'm saying? Like, get a question answered. Like, get some questions answered, get some realizations, get some information. Don't just like, you know, hope and wish for the best. Like, really see what's going on with yourself. See where this energy is at for you and see what's the next things for you to do, because this full moon is extremely intense based upon it's square to the nodes. So with that, there's a lot of spiritual tension. So a lot of us think that we so spiritual, but the reality is we never is as spiritual as we think we are. So when there is squares to the nodes, oppositions to the nodes, that spirit is going to come up. And if we're open for it, if we're ready for it, then that's good. But if we're closed off and we're afraid of change, then that's going to present its particular problem. So that being said, y'all have a wonderful day. Peace.